Okay, you have one more day of Digital Toby, but I will be back tomorrow, Tuesday, for our final workshop and everything. I just wanted to double check and make sure that everybody was feeling okay with what happened. So we're going to quickly review what happened last week. So for any of you who were gone during last week, you'll kind of know what we did, and then you can make up these workshops and these work days during these class periods. So last Monday when I was here, we looked at your truths. You should have done Writer's Workshop number 1. Remember that it needs to be totally filled out. You need to have written pieces in all of those areas. Otherwise, you do not get full credit. Based on that, on Tuesday, you reviewed quickly the the creative nonfiction structure, so either a narrative or an essay. And then you wrote your first draft based on that. Workshop number 2, we did structure. And then again, if you would like to double check, if you say that you're doing a chronological narrative, you should be able to go through and show that it does start with the exposition, have a trigger point, rising action, climax. Make sure that it fits all of those pieces, because if you're missing things, you will get points taken off. So whatever your structure is, please double check that you've got the right elements along with that. So that was Writer's Workshop number 2, focused on structure. And if you decided to change, you were going with a narrative, but you want to change to an essay, that's fine, as long as you've got all those changes made. On Thursday, you went through to add the show not tell strategies and type a second draft. And then Friday, we had the workshop on that. So for today, what I would like you to do is to make your show not tell content changes. So again, if you did a narrative style, whatever events you chose to write about, the one thing that I would say that I've noticed throughout the day is a lot of people aren't doing a lot of showing. They're doing a lot of telling. They're saying, I went to this, I did this, I think of that, instead of showing, using the 5 senses, using action words, using dialogue. So go back through and see if there's any place you could add more of the show. And then those of you who are writing in essay format, these are not personal examples. These are examples from the news, from well-known works of art like movies or literature or books. If you're doing the essay, you're going to be using examples, but what you need to use are specific scenes. Don't make something up. Like I had a student earlier write about respect, and then the student chose to write, let's say, for example, you're playing basketball as a pickup game and you foul somebody. It's respectful to just say, hey, I fouled you. That's a hypothetical situation that may or may not happen, but if you use a specific scene or a specific situation, that will be a lot more powerful. So again, whether that happened to someone else or somebody in the news, and we'll make sure these are specific scenes. If you look at yours and you notice I don't have, use part of today to actually go online, look up research, notes, news, anything that can give you something specific. And then finally, the last thing that I want you to check before our workshop tomorrow, which is over the conventions, is the dialogue rules in punctuation and commas. These are all things that we've done in our DOLs. So these things I'm going to be grading very particularly. Remember, you can go back to the English 10 webpage and review those videos to make sure you're doing it correctly. But there are 3 more that I do want to be aware of and focusing on, even though we did not do a DOL on these yet. The first one is verb tense consistency. Whatever verb tense you start writing in, you need to keep it. So if you're writing about I went to the store, you're doing it in past tense, so all of your verbs need to be past. If you're doing it present tense, like I walked to the store, everything should be present tense. And then finally, if it's more future, like I will go, all of your verbs should be future tense. So double check that your verbiage is all the same. Another thing that you need to watch out for is the subject-verb agreement. This all nouns and verbs come in singular and plural form. So make sure that these all match up. So if you mention a goat and you want to talk about the verb is run, if you've got a singular goat, it would be the goat runs. But if you've got more than one goat, goats run. Just make sure that you're getting the subject verb with it. And then the last thing that you should be looking for are those commonly misspelled words, the there, and there, the your and your, the to, etc., etc. Those are things that you can check on your own. You can use Google Docs to do a spell check. You can do a Word doc to do a spell check, and the like. So today is a work day. I believe Mrs. Dutzman is subbing for us today, so thank you for that. Please work. diligently today, get all this done, and also remember that all of these workshops that you did last week, as well as all of the drafts that you've been writing, the first draft, the second draft, and right now you're working on the third draft, all of those need to be printed off. They all should have markings on them. They should all have completed writer's workshops, because anything that's not done or is incomplete, you will lose serious points for that. So just be aware of all those things going on. And I will be back tomorrow to help you. If you need extra help, please see me tomorrow morning. I'll be in at 8. Or you can come sign up to come in during A&P, and I would be glad to help you then. The time is yours. Use it wisely. And Mrs. Dutzman, anybody that is causing grief or staying off task, please feel free to remove them from the room, and then they can make that time up with me outside of class. All right, good luck.